I think the smaller E-Moto market is still going to be this very like modular kind of a thing. And I think that there are going to be bikes that are more like, it's a dirt bike. It looks like a dirt bike. That's not going to be quite that.
Right.
It's going to be like...
So you think that there will always maintain this weird, I don't want to call it weird, but like this segment that is like cheaper, kind of, but like, because what if Stark has a bike that's an 85 size bike? I just think it is more of a toy. It's like,
well, even at that, I don't totally see it that way. I just think it's an aesthetics thing. I think some people, they want a bike that looks like that to rip in the street. Some people will want a dirt bike looking bike,
that's true.
But like that just looks cool as it is. That thing's like a very customized looking machine.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start putting like shrouds and all the stuff on and number plates, it's kind of like, okay, it's just like a different thing now.
Right.
So I think that there's still going to be this like creative realm of this, let's say from e-ride terms, from the Mini. The Mini's kind of dirt bike looking in its own way too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Metal frame.
Ours looks very dirt bike, but
exposed metal frame, that kind of deal.
But I still think that there's going to be a stretch of like those bikes, because realistically, E-Ride is probably not going to make a bike that competes with Stark.
No,
they're not going to make a race bike like that's a full-on dirt bike. They're still going to have a race team, but I think it's still going to like look kind of like this.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
No, I think you're right.
But I see a world where both exist, just because I know that there are people who ride in the streets and there are people who want to ride at a track.
Right.
And those are just very different use cases and cultures. And I think that this culture makes a lot of sense in the street still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Agree with that.
You see that?
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that there's always room for those bikes.
I agree.
Yeah. I think they're cool. And I actually appreciate that there are options. And it's really cool that like a bike that coming from gas bikes, people probably look at that and they're like, man, that's so weird looking.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but like after spending enough time with it, it's like you appreciate it for like,
it's
what it's it
weirdness.
Is. It's really cool. Yeah.
And I think there's always going to be like, as frustrated as I get when all the bikes break or a majority of them break in a given day, I like to tinker. And I think that's where a lot of people are, right? Like you don't get a Stark and touch it. Like you do maybe very minor things.
Not really,
like
though.
they've really locked that bike down to where it's like kind of, it's not made to be touched. Like,
no, the suspension is even like amazing out of the box.
So I think like there's always going to be that group of people who just want to like customize and tinker and build these cool things and like and I hope that market never goes away, not from a business perspective, but just like that artistic freedom perspective. You know, like people can just like express. Sounds super hippie, but they can like express themselves through their bike. You know what I mean? Where you can't do that on like a fucking gas bike with like a number plate.
Or you just wouldn't.
You wouldn't, right? Because you get beat up at the track. Sorry, just kidding.
No, but I agree. I think like all the parts you can buy from Warp 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the biggest brands, obviously, that's doing that. Like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like having a bike that has no option of that. Strike Shadow, for example, like piece of shit. Looks like
here's the thing: nobody's going to hear that because I know once he comes to his senses, he's going to take that out of the podcast.
Maybe I'll say it. I'll say it. It's okay. The Strike Shadow is, if that's what you want to ride, that's cool. But realistically, I don't think anyone's going to invest in aftermarket for that bike very much.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's like it's kind of a junky bike. And
I get it. Relax.
Yeah, I'm not coming in that hot. But it's a weird bike, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like it kind of looks like a dirt bike. It works. I mean, that bike works for sure, and it's remarkable how cheap it is for like what you get. But yeah, there's not really aftermarket. It doesn't really have like a creative kind of thing.
No,
it's not like that's art.
Yeah,
a Strike Shadow to me is kind of like you're just getting a $1,200 bike.
And like for some people, that's all they can afford. And I totally get it. And I'm glad that there's a market for them. Yeah, I'm glad that there's a market for them. Just you can't get pissed off when things start breaking and call us and be frustrated that you spent $1,200 or $1,500 on a motorcycle that doesn't run.
My wheel set is worth $1,200.
Literally. So let's one last segment here. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in the race scene, with races becoming more and more accessible to electric bikes. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I just got done emailing with the guy from AMARA for the
local,
the Arizona
local enduro racing kind of stuff.
Sprint enduro racing here in Arizona, all over Arizona. And because what we've traditionally realized is that most race promoters or race series, they just don't have like very clear information about what goes where and how. If you ride gas and you've been racing all your life, like it all makes sense, you know, like you kind of get it.
Electric is completely
But
unclear.
electric is like a different breed of racer. Like it's a lot of times like guys that haven't raced in many, many years, or guys that maybe never race, or girls that maybe have never raced, you know, and they're getting on an electric bike for their first time and they want to go, whether they want to compete or have fun. But we're starting to see a lot of really cool stuff taking place in that arena. Obviously, we had the 62 series this year. We have the freaking E-Moto Racing Live. I think that's what it's called, right? EMR.
And these are moto kind of things.
Yeah, they're moto-ish, right? Those are moto things.
Which makes sense on multiple wheel diameters.
Yep. So they have that, and then we are sponsoring a series and starting a specific class in the MERP race series, which is GP racing, so track and trail, in combination with each other at the same time. And we're going to have an electric class specific, and I was talking to him yesterday. And
I didn't know it was track, too. Wait,
it's GP.
Okay.
So it's going to be like half track, half trail, but one course.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. And that'll be the first time that they've always allowed electric bikes. And I think that's where everybody's kind of ending up is like they've allowed electric bikes, but they don't know where to place them or where not to place them. There's all this kilowatt shit going on that nobody understands yet.
Stuff kind of just lands in like an open class space because it's like, well.
Yep. Well, and I think then and we're starting to see like these other series that are obviously they're asking for sponsorships, which is totally cool. But like the new thing that I'm doing is like, hey, we will only sponsor series that have an electric specific class.
Yep.
Not racing with gas bikes, specifically electric, where electric can race electric. And to his credit, he was like, I would love to do that. I just don't know where to start. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
I love that.
Like, I don't know everything, but
People
I
are
can.
becoming much more open.
That's what I mean. Like,
really
it's
cool.
so cool to see that we are now having all these opportunities to race, all these opportunities to be a part of these big gas events.
Yep.
You know, last year is totally different than what it is this year in terms of the landscape of these same exact series that last year were like, no, unless you're on a Stark. You know, and there's more,
which you can understand.
I can understand. It's just easier. They don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, and in certain classes, like this AMRA thing, they told you like you can do it, but you need to be on like a bigger bike,
like a real dirt bike.
Yeah, it makes sense if it's a trail race. It's like you need to be on 1821s.
Yeah,
to do that kind of race.
For sure. You don't want to be out there on a bike that's just going to break.
No,
like,
or like hold everyone up. I mean, if you don't have like legit traction, you'd just be in the way.
Yeah, and that's not fun because trust me, when I race, I'm in the way a lot, and it's not fun. Everyone, get the fuck out of the way.